Pawn Stars first burst onto screens in 2009, and since then has been one of the History Channel's highest rated shows. Set in the Harrison family pawn shop, Gold and Silver, Rick Harrison and his team of experts analyze some of America's hidden treasures as they bargain and haggle for the best possible deal that'll net them the maximum possible profit. Before we get into today's video, make sure you show some love for Top 5 Best by taking a moment to smash that like button, leave us a comment, subscribe, and last but not least, share this video with your friends. Now, let's get started. Number 9. 1961 Fender Stratocaster.
Oh, this is your guitar?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a 1961 Fender Stratocaster.
When session artist Vic Flick entered the shop, the Pawn Stars vintage instrument specialist Jesse Amoroso was over the moon to meet him. As a session artist, Vic has played on some of the most iconic recordings of all time, including the James Bond theme song from 1962's Dr. No. The guitar that he brought with him that day was a 1961 Fender Stratocaster that Rick Harrison immediately recognized as being valuable. Without any lineage, the classic guitar could be worth as much as $30,000, but after consulting with Jesse, Rick offers him a whopping $55,000. And this may have been conservative, in fact. The guitar in question was used to record legends such as Petula Clark and even Tom Jones on the classic It's Not Unusual. As Jesse said, "You have probably heard this exact guitar more times than you even know." Luckily, Vic Flick accepted the offer, but the iconic guitar wouldn't spend long at Gold and Silver and was sold at auction in 2014 for $25,000. Number 8. JFK'S cigar box.
What do we got here?
I have John F. Kennedy's cigar box he used in the White House.
John F. Kennedy created the Cuban embargo, which, amongst other things, made it illegal to import Cuban cigars to the US. JFK, however, was a huge fan of cigars, so immediately prior to signing the embargo, he procured 1,200 of the esteemed Cuban cigars for his own personal consumption. For storing his favorite cigars, he had 2 handcrafted wooden cigar boxes, the first of which sold at auction for nearly $500,000 in the 1990s. But the second box was one that actually sat on JFK's desk and contained the 8 cigars he would have smoked had he not been assassinated. That second box, the one the president had been smoking from, now belonged to a man who appeared on Pawn Stars in the episode Close But No Cigar. The unnamed collector needed funds to open an additional facility pertinent to his business, and he didn't have a lot of time to wait. He initially sought a whopping $95,000 for the item, but Rick countered with $50,000 before the pair settled on $60,000 instead. Both parties walked away happy, and this one-of-a-kind piece of history will soon be passed on to another lucky collector. Number 7. 2014 Hertz Penske GT Mustang.
So this is it, huh?
This is it, that's right. It's a 2014 Hertz Penske GT.
One of the larger items on our list by far is a 2014 Hertz Penske GT Mustang. The Hertz rental car company wanted to give customers the opportunity to drive a genuine supercar. With this in mind, they partnered with Penske Racing to create a limited edition Ford Mustang that featured elements of the Boss 302 and the Shelby GT500, plus a 600 horsepower 5.0-liter V8 that boasts a 0 to 60 time of roughly 4 seconds. This unique vehicle received a limited run of just 150 units, meaning very few people would ever truly get a chance to drive one. But even rarer was the 6-speed manual gearbox option. Only 10 were manufactured. Only Hertz VIP members had access to these particular models. A man named John brought one of these rare models to Gold and Silver on an episode that aired on January 13, 2016. He was seeking $80,000 for the item. However, Rick called in professional NASCAR driver Joey Logano to get a second opinion. Oh yeah, and to take a couple laps around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But after having a look, Joey estimates that the car is worth around $75,000. After a bit of haggling, the pair settled on $60,000, and the deal was made. Number 6. 1915 Panama Pacific Octagonal $50 gold piece.
A little birdie told me that you had an Octagon Pan Pacific $50 gold piece.
I do.
A list of the Pawn Stars' top buys wouldn't be complete without mention of a trip Rick took to Atlanta to attend one of the biggest coin auctions in America. But with a shop full of rarities and one-of-a-kind items, why would he have to travel nearly 2,000 miles in search of a coin? In the name of customer satisfaction, of course. One of Rick's top customers came to him in search of a 1915 Panama Pacific octagonal $50 gold coin in March of 2016. And even though he didn't have one at the shop, he was committed to finding one. The customer wanted to pay no more than $70,000 for it, so Rick had to be careful. The particular coin was created by the US Mint to commemorate the opening of the Panama Canal. However, it was poorly received and many of them were returned and melted soon after being sold. This, of course, has made the pieces increasingly rare, and similar coins have sold for nearly $500,000 at auction. Luckily for Rick, he was able to locate the coin and snagged it for a cool $67,500, meaning Rick wouldn't turn much of a profit, but if there's one thing that gold and silver stands for, it's customer satisfaction. Number 5. 1932 Custom Ford.
What do we have here?
You got a 1932 Ford Roadster here.
The second Ford on our list, this incredible jet black 500 horsepower 1932 Custom Ford Roadster, was brought to the attention of Gold and Silver in 2013. Following the iconic Model A, the Model B was produced between 1932 and 1934, immediately becoming a favorite among hot rodders, and a key vehicle in several films and historic events. The highly customized model that Rick and Corey were called in to see produced nearly 500 horsepower and is one seriously sleek-looking machine. In over their heads, the guys called in Pawn Stars expert Danny Coker, who estimated the cost of building the vehicle would be around $135,000, and the sale value would be $75,000. The customer, however, was well aware of what he had, and set his lowest price at $70,000. After intense negotiation between the three men, they were able to settle on a price of $68,250. Number 4. 1922 Proof Piece High Relief Dollar.
Where did you get this?
I won it at a poker game.
Whoa.
This is probably one of the rarest coins in American history. With only 10 to 12 in existence, they are highly sought after by collectors. This was a limited edition proof of a high relief silver dollar. Nearly all of them have been melted down, and it's thought that the actual number of these coins in the world may be as low as 6. Eventually, the high relief proof was faded out, and replaced with a low relief proof, of which 84 million pieces were minted in 1922 alone. When this incredibly rare piece came into the gold and silver pawn shop, Rick met the man who claimed he had originally won the coin in a poker game. When he arrived, he told Rick Harrison that he believed it to be worth close to $20,000. This prompted Rick to call in a coin expert, who informed them that the coin was worth closer to $100,000. Rick was able to strike a deal for just $80,000, and would later sell the coin at auction for $99,875. Everyone made out better than expected in this case, which is definitely good for business. Number 3. 1961 Gibson SG Les Paul guitar.
This belonged to my Aunt Mary.
Les Paul SG.
Les Paul changed the way the world understood guitars, and together with his wife, Mary Ford, he wrote 16 chart-topping hits between 1950 and 1954. Being a Les Paul from 1961 would have given this incredible instrument a value of nearly $20,000, but when the customer revealed that it belonged to his aunt, none other than Mary Ford herself, it suddenly became priceless. Of course, on Pawn Stars nothing is truly priceless, and the resident guitar expert Jesse told the guys that it was easily a 6-digit guitar, placing a value at $150,000 or more. Rick immediately got to work on bidding down the customer. By the time Rick made the buy, he did so for the significant sum of $90,000. Number 2. 1932 Lincoln Roadster.
Okay, Uncle Phil.
I have a 1932 Lincoln convertible V12.
The final car on our list, the 1932 Lincoln Roadster, had one priority: comfort and luxury, and a mint condition specimen could bring as much as $175,000 at auction. Unfortunately, the specific vehicle brought to Gold and Silver, while stunning, had some minor imperfections. As Rick tried to work down the price, the customer came clean about what he really wanted in exchange. The man wanted gold. While it would have been illegal for Rick to give the man gold in exchange for the vehicle, he could easily buy it for cash and then use the cash to buy gold. With this arrangement in mind, they settled on the price of $95,000, making it the most expensive vehicle Gold and Silver has ever purchased. Once the man had his cash, he promptly exchanged it for something that the Pawn Stars always have an abundance of: gold coins.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. Over 200 pounds of silver.
Hey, what do we got here?
A whole lot of silver.
After his father taught him the importance of investing at a young age, a man had purchased large volumes of silver when it was very cheap. As he saw the market tightening up and the price of silver increasing, he brought the silver to Rick, who verified that it was, in fact, pure and calculated the weight at 3,372 ounces. After a small amount of negotiation, they agreed on the price of $111,000, making it a record-breaking buy for the shop. Those were 10 of the biggest buys in Pawn Stars history. Which one was your favorite? Go ahead and let me know in the comments section below. Until next time, thanks for watching.